A new rocket testing facility will be built in the UK over the next year, in a move which the country's space agency hopes will help British companies blast into space. The facility will be built at the site where work on 2 early space rockets was carried out, resurrecting a part of Britain's space history. At the same time, a British joint venture has announced it hopes to repurpose an historic satellite as a GPS guide for missions to the Moon. Both of the projects were announced at the Farnborough International Air Show in Hampshire this week. Surrey Satellite Technology Limited has paired with Goonhilly Earth Station, which operates 30 dishes in Cornwall including the famous Arthur satellite communications dish. Arthur was used to bring Britain its first crackly, black-and-white satellite TV pictures from the US in 1962. Still in use today, the dish has been in almost continuous operation for over 50 years. Arthur's huge size means it will be able to communicate with CubeSats, cheap tiny satellites that tend to be launched into low Earth orbits. Because of their short antennae, most other satellite dishes cannot communicate with CubeSats any further away. But Arthur is big enough to send and receive signals from as far away as the Moon. The two companies want to launch an orbiter called Lunar Pathfinder as a low-cost approach to boost the UK's space presence and for delivering GPS breadcrumbs into space. Affordable transport of space assets to lunar orbit and communications of these assets with Earth are a common barrier to the international development and exploration of our local solar system, said Sir Martin Sweeting, SSTL's executive chairman. The Lunar Pathfinder missions will provide the low-cost support infrastructure that allows customers to focus on the science and business aspects of their missions. An Indian rocket will deliver the orbiter carrying 7 CubeSats, weighing around 26 pounds each into lunar orbit, for Fev. 1 million per kg. Some will stay in orbit and others will land on the Moon. It is hoped that after a few years launching CubeSats, those still in orbit could work as a GPS-like navigation beacons for future lunar missions. The ultimate goal of the mission is to create a solar system network that could guide missions around the solar system. A separate project, also announced at the Farnborough Air Show, would mean the Lunar Pathfinder mission is not the only British venture into space in the coming years. The UK Space Agency announced a new rocket testing facility is to be built on the site of the former rocket propulsion establishment at Westcott in Buckinghamshire. The £4.12 million testing facility would give UK companies and research organisations a new facility for space technology testing, said the agency. Engines for interplanetary travel and futuristic space planes will be tested at the centre. Among the centre's customers is expected to be British company Reaction Engines, which is developing an air-breathing rocket called Sabre for powering reusable space planes. Sabre is at heart a rocket engine designed to power aircraft directly into space to allow reliable, responsive and cost-effective space access, the company's website claims. The rocket propulsion establishment, set up in 1946, was for many years so secret that it was not marked on Ordnance Survey maps. Early work was carried out on the site on 2 early British space rockets, Black Arrow and Blue Streak, but both were eventually scrapped. Rocket motors for British guided missiles were designed and developed at Westcott until the mid-1990s.